Hello everyone, so this is the stock picks for the week. By the way, happy Easter everyone. Now we have a plenty of stocks for this week for you to check out if they are already in a reversal, but on the current situation today we cannot say that yet. Maybe for some short-term traders you can consider some of these stocks for you to trade within the week. Now, what I have here is SM, Jollibee, Ayala Corporation, URC Pure Gold, Megaworld, and Meralco. So let's proceed. So here I have SM first. Let's look at the chart first. From the chart, it's still on the downtrend. It's formally in a downtrend because of the three moving averages, the 50, 100, and the 200 day. But here, as I have drawn my resistance line out here, it already broke out at somewhere this point. Now, what are the tendency of this one? Here, by the way, I also drew a support line here below. Now, what are the tendency of this one? First, the stock may go up to this point, making its way to 942 around that point with a resistance at this point, or it can retrace back to its support line around this point at 788. So you can do risk management. Again, risk management is about, like here, let me zoom that in. You are going to risk, for example, here up to this point. So that's 2%. Now, what is the reward for that one? Here, up to this point maybe, so that's 8%. So that's around 1:4 risk ratio. Now, for the other indicators, we can see that the MACD is on the uptrend. The MACD is above the signal line. For the OBV or the volume, meanwhile, it's still on a uptrend, but the direction last Wednesday wasn't directly on an uptrend. So we will see what will happen on the next trading day or tomorrow. Okay, next we have Jollibee. For Jollibee, Jollibee is one of the most common stock. Jollibee last Wednesday, it rallied at a huge amount of 8.6%. But as we all know, if a stock rallied or a high market cap company rallied for like 8%, um, 5% or more, sometimes it's being followed by a retracement. But of course, with the exemption of some. Like for this one, 3, this is 5, it retraced. This is -7, -3, and it became +5. So there's what we call profit taking at this point. Now let's take a look at the chart. Here, you can see the volume is doing well. It's confirming the price action. Now the possible move for this one is that it can go up to this point at around 132. So probably that's around 10.16 something gain. Then it can retrace at this point, or you can sell it at where it broke out, or here around 8. So maybe it's not that quite a good risk reward ratio, but we can see some factors as well. Like for this one, it already hit the top Bollinger Bands. As we all know, if it hit the Bollinger Band, like for this one, it's going down. For this one, it's going down. For this one, there's a chance that it can go up. Now, for the some indicators, MACD is above the signal line. Then, hold on. Then the OBV is on a uptrend or a positive trend right here. So let me draw some lines here. It's already breaking some resistance lines there below. So it is a good chance tomorrow or this week that the stock may rally up, or it can go sideways. Next, I have here Ayala Corporation. For AC, 1, 2, 3. There. So I have a lot of lines here. Let me just remove those lines. It will not be of help today. So here, I'm looking at the chart. The downtrend has already been broken. We can see a confirmation like for this week because some of the patterns are being broken, yes, for 1 or 2 days, but it has a retracement at somehow. Kumbaga, it's having a correction or it's going back to its original place at some point in time. So let's see what will happen tomorrow. Now, if the stock will move up, it can go up to this point. Now you can gain for that at around, it's a big, or around 14%. But on the other hand, if you bet on that one and it didn't work well, the support is around 10. So, I mean, if you will consider again the risk and reward of that one, it's kinda big. But if you are going to cut loss at around 3%, that's around 1:4 risk ratio. So that's a good bet, or that's a good try in a short term or in a short term trade. Now let's look at again the other indicators. MACD is doing good above the signal line. Then like for this one, as you can see, if the OBV is going up, usually the price is going up as well. Then if it's going down, it's going down. It's going down. Now, on the other hand, if it's going up, it's going up at this point. So we'll see what will happen tomorrow, given that there is a quite sharp movement in the OBV. Next, we have the URC. For the URC, or I forgot to add URC as a template, so let's do it manually again. So for the URC here, let me show you how I assess the charts quickly. So first, I drew up a patterns like for this one. Now, as we can see here, it's already on its resistance at around 122. So we can draw a line here. Where do I base that one? Somewhere at this point. Or we can do it right here because they are, again, when we draw resistance lines, it must be somehow connected to other lines like for this one. Now, for the next resistance line, I can draw it up here. Then the support line is around maybe here. Okay. Now, what are the chances of that one? If it will go up, it can go up to this point. And if it went down or retrace, it can go up to this point, following the resistance line that we had. Now, what is the reward of that one? That would be around 7%. For the risk of that one, let's say you will sell at its resistance, it's almost break even. Now, as you can see here as well, the MACD is good. It's doing well. It's very sharp, but the OBV, it's quite going up on a slow basis. So we can see tomorrow what will happen next at this point, as we have marked what or where can the stock be going. Next, Pure Gold. Pure Gold has been on my stock list for the past 3 weeks already, because as we all know, in this lockdown, Pure Gold is one of the top or leading grocery branches or grocery stores in the country. So that's why people are flocking in them, and we can assume that the revenue of Pure Gold will remain the same or a bit lower compared to other companies who has a big impact on this one or what's happening today. Now, here I have drawn a support line here below. So what is the possible scenario for this one? It can go sideways up to this point. I have here the resistance line and the support line, or it can break out to the next resistance line we have here at around 204, sorry, 43. So that's around 5%. Now, what's the risk of that one? It can go below. So that's around 1 is to 2 risk reward ratio. Now, for the other indicators, the indicators are doing well, especially the MACD. The MACD has a large gap between the signal line. It's already above the zero. And for the OBV, as we can see, it's already forming a upward trend right here. So let's hope for a good sign for pure gold. Then I have last two for the MEG. MEG has been doing well in the past few weeks since its bottom below at this point. Now for the MEG, we can see again what we do first is check for the patterns. Yeah, but I mean take note. Please do note that the market's still on a bearish mode, so it's going down. So please trade or invest at your own risk because as much as possible, we want to invest if we have if we are on a bull market or if most of the indicators and most of the companies are already switching or changing directions already. Here we can see it's already moving quite sideways because it is banned by this resistance line at around 2.73. Now it can go back at this point, maybe that's around 10%, or it can gain up to this point at around 20. So that's 1 is to 2 risk ratio. Again, the basis of the charts or the lines are this point, this one and this one. For the support line, this one and this one. Excuse me. Then for the indicators, again, the MACD is doing good and the OBV is doing good. And last but certainly not the least, we have Meralco. For Meralco, there is a pattern going here, and luckily the pattern has been broken. For this one, I have here a pattern going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and a bit of sideways down. Then finally, it went up and broke its strong support, I mean resistance line of this diagonal line. Okay. Now, as we can see here, I also have a strong support line. Now, what happened usually if the stock beat its strong support, I mean, resistance line, it's usually going on a reversal, or of course, if it's a resistance, it can go upward. Now, what are the possible scenarios? Short term, it can go here at this point. It can retrace, so that's around -3, or it can go up to this point, that's around 5. So that's around break even or around 1 is to 1 risk reward ratio. In the long term, it can retrace more below up to this point, maybe at around 9%. On the other hand, it can go up to this point at around 13%. So that's around 9, 12, 3 is to 4 risk reward ratio. For that one, again, what are this risk reward ratio, meaning you're willing to bet or to invest in that stock. Having said that, the risk of that one, risk of falling down, is within those levels only. Within the amount of money you're willing to lose. Let's say you're willing to cut loss at around 3%, 5%. On the other hand, it can reward you up to 9%. So that's 3 is to 9 or 1 is to 3 reward ratio. Then for this one, lastly, the other indicators, MACD is on a good run, and so as the OBV. The OBV is quite flat at this point, so we can see we might see a sideways, or like for this one indicator that I've said. Here you can see the OBV it's going up, so as we can see here also it's going up. So that's it. I hope you found value in this video. If you do, please do share this to your friends, or if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. So again, that's it. Thank you for watching and take care.